back to the Real Estate Reserve Podcast. I'm Jason Balin from Hard Money Bankers, co-host Ian Horowitz from Equity Warehouse, and back in studio, Dave Foster from the 1031 Investor. We had a great conversation with Dave a few weeks ago. If you want to check out that episode, feel free to do so. I think Ian and I kind of nerded out with Dave related to everything related to 1031 and in real estate. If you're house hacking. If you're reverse house hacking was a new little tip that we learned, and if you're investing in limited partnerships or general partnerships and syndications and things like that, so definitely go check that out. Dave, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate you coming back on. Today's segment is the deal that changed my life. If you could just share maybe a deal, good deal or bad deal, and something that had changed your life kind of as a real estate investor.
Absolutely. So I'll preface it by saying what started this deal was a book that I read called The Clipper Ship Strategy. And I know in our last visit, I pointed out Richard Barbary. Guy wrote this one as well. But basically, this is a primer on how the federal government invests in communities and regions. And it teaches you how to go find what are called cones of investment and invest your money there, because government money always creates massive appreciation. They're going to spend it there, you jump in. So what I did was, using the principles there, was I found in the Midwest near a large military base and a piece of ground associated with a university that had just been given a $3 billion grant from Obama's administration to build the National Bioagricultural Terrorist Facility. Massive amounts of money going into this place. And I found a little tract of land that happened to be outside of the city, but near enough to a small city that it had access to city infrastructure. So it's a piece of agricultural land, but it was adjacent to water, electricity, and roads. And I bought this tract of land that had a beautiful farmhouse on it, and I 1031 exchanged into it, because yes, I do my own thing. So I 1031 exchanged into it, didn't have to pay any tax. I then moved into the farmhouse. So I converted it to my primary residence. And I then took the land and sold it to what we call a land bank. Now, I was the member of the land bank, but it was a different entity. And you'll appreciate this, Jason, because I sold it on a note. The land bank owed me and was making payments to me. We then got the small little city to give us general obligation bonds so that the eventual homeowner paid for all the infrastructure. And then all I did was go and find builders to start building. And this was right around 2007-ish. So there was a lot of hungry money out there. And a group of California guys came in and said, we'd really like to buy the whole thing. Okay. I let them buy it to me for an amount that made me whole, paid just about everything off, but I carried a second on, or I carried the paper on the rest. And then guess what happened? 2008. They did not get one more thing done. I sold the house that we were living in. That was tax-free because it was my primary residence. And then they did not get another house built, so I foreclosed on the loan. I got it all back, and then we turned around and completed finishing it with 180 single-family homes.
Wow.
So basically, my basis went to zero because they paid me for part of it. So I got to foreclose on a property, get it back, make money on it twice. I kind of like that. That was fun.
Hey, why make money once when you can make it 2 or 3, 4, 5 times? It's very smart. Well, just real quick, out of curiosity, why did you sell it to yourself on a note?
Sold it to myself on a note because that's what let me 1031 exchange it.
Okay, Got it. So you moved it from yourself to the land bank, or new entity that was a land bank, and then you paid yourself. The land bank borrowed money from you to buy that.
Right. And because the land bank is a construction entity, there's a lot of ordinary expenses that go along with that.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, anything that I sold was just capital gain.
Yeah.
So it was better to make all of the loss over on the land bank side.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And then real quick, what was the tax credit that the city had the city issued you to do the infrastructure?
Municipalities, depending on what class they are and everything, have the ability to issue their own bonds. They can issue bonds to build sidewalks or a school or whatever they want. In this case, because we were we were basically doubling their population. So they were excited to see it. They were willing to take the bonds down, and they were responsible for them to pay for that infrastructure.
Yeah,
Called
that
general obligation bonds. Yeah.
interesting. So I guess that's something that you kind of knew ahead of time and planned it. Conversations, bumping elbows, doing that whole government politic thing, saying hi.
It takes a lot of working together to make sure that everybody's needs are met. Yeah.
Yep.
But ultimately, at the end of things, you're left with what are called assessments
Sure.
that go with the lots. And so the homeowner buys the house, and those assessments are on there for 15 years or so.
Yep.
$1,000 or $2,000 a year.
Yeah. Kind of like a front foot fee type thing.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, that's an interesting one. That's the first time we've heard that one. That was exciting. Dave, where's the best place people can find you on the internet? They want to learn more. They want to hear this story again. They want to find you. Where can they find you?
Come find me at the1031investor.com.
That's simple. All right, we'll get that in the show notes. It was in your other show a few weeks ago. It's in the show notes there. If you can't find Dave, you're not looking hard enough. And we appreciate you, brother. Guys, if you got any value out of this, please share it. It's the best compliment we can give Dave, and we'll catch you all on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Real Estate Reserve podcast. Do us a favor and like, comment, and share our broadcast. It helps the algorithm and helps us spread the word too. Till next time, thank you for tuning in.